Okay, so if you were online in 1996, or even if you just know the lore, you know the vibe,
Oh, total.
the internet was the Wild West. It was John Perry Barlow declaring the independence of cyberspace. No borders, no landlords, just like pure, unadulterated optimism. You had Stewart Brand saying information wants to be free.
Right, it was the ultimate frontier myth. But today we are jumping into a deep dive on an article simply titled The Fence. And, well, it argues that this nostalgia is actually kind of dangerous.
Yeah, bit of a trap.
Exactly. It suggests the internet didn't just get ruined by corporations over time, which is what we always hear. The premise here is that it was effectively enclosed from the very start.
Which completely reframes the history. So the mission for this deep dive is to figure out if that open Wild West narrative was actually just a cover story,
Mm.
like bait to get us to build the infrastructure for someone else.
And that is the absolute core of what the author calls the settlers narrative, because, when we logged on back then, building our GeoCities pages.
Oh man, GeoCities, yeah.
Right. Joining forums and whatnot, we really felt like pioneers claiming land.
We did. We felt like we owned our little corner of the web.
But the article argues we weren't the pioneers at all. We were the labor force. We were out there, I mean, clearing the rocks and tilling the soil so the real land barons could move in later.
The infrastructure owners.
Yep. While we were distracted by the freedom to post, they were already sinking surveyor pegs into the bedrock.
That distinction is crucial. It's the difference between settling a free space and unknowingly stepping into a private jurisdiction. And once you accept that we are on private land, the article pivots to Shoshana Zuboff's concept of surveillance capitalism.
And the language the source uses here gets pretty intense. It actually describes it as body horror.
Body horror, it's such a striking metaphor. Usually we think of data collection as just abstract numbers, right? Clicks and views.
Right. But Zuboff argues it's an extraction of human experience. It frames your behavior, your hesitation over a button, your location history, even your sleep patterns as raw ore. The quote that really stands out is that the unconscious gesture doesn't perform, it reveals.
Wow.
Yeah, you aren't using the tool. You are the mind being excavated by the tool.
That leads right into the structural problem. If we are the raw material, who built the mine? This brings us to the sociologist Manuel Castells. He talks about the illusion of the network.
Exactly. Because from the edges where you and I sit, the internet looks flat and democratic. You can talk to anyone.
It feels decentralized.
But Castells argues that from the center, it is strictly hierarchical. It's a funnel.
And sitting at the center of that funnel are what Nick Smartek calls the new railways. This is the shift from tech companies to platform capitalism.
The railway comparison is vital for understanding the economics here. Think about Amazon Web Services, AWS, or Google Search Index. They aren't just selling a product. They own the base layers. They own the tracks the economy runs on.
And it's a sobering look at your browser window. We'll leave you with this final provocation from the source. The frontier myth always hid the dust and blood of appropriation. If the shiny interface is the bait, what is the modern equivalent of that dust and blood that we are currently ignoring?
Definitely something to consider the next time you blindly click I accept.
Thanks for listening to this deep dive.